Members absent is Jose. And I think that's it. And members present, let's see, Penny
Here.
and
Rosie?
Rosie
Here.
and
Kip.
and Barbara. Okay. Any community comments?
None for closed session.
Okay. Can I get a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Second?
Yep.
All right. And all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. That's it.
Okay.
So one of the things that happened is we had to catch up on everything that's going on within our school district. I do have two things to report out. We took a vote on student number 708, 708-34 75942. And the vote was Penny Esmond motion. Hinojos was seconded, and we had 4 yeas and no nays. The other one was another student that we voted on. 518-121-9538. And we had Ken motioned it, and Hinojos seconded, and the vote was 4-0. Okay. Now, for our regular session, there's a few things that we have to do. One of them is we need to swear in an oath of office for our board, our student board member.
Ready?
Me.
So this is Hubert Hong, and Hubert is currently serving as the Vice President at ASP. He's actively involved in several school clubs, including the Board Game Club. He balances his academic achievements while maintaining an impressive 4.0 plus GPA with participation outside of school. He dedicates his time to volunteering at the Desert Valley Hospital and enjoys spending time with friends. Aspiration to pursue a career in pharmacy. What can you prescribe for me? He brings well-rounded perspective to our board, and it's excited to have him. We're excited to have him to contribute to ongoing efforts to enhance the educational experience for our district. You ready to take this oath?
Yes, sir.
All right. Raise your right hand. I, Hubert Hong,
I, Hubert Hall,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
I will support and defend
I will support and defend
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California
and the Constitution of California
against all enemies,
against all enemies,
foreign and domestic,
foreign and domestic,
that I will bear true faith
that I will bear true faith
and allegiance
and allegiance
to the Constitution of the United
to
States
the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California and the Constitution of the State of California
and the Constitution of
of the State of
the
California.
State of California,
That I take this obligation freely
that I take this obligation freely
without any mental reservations
without any mental reservations
or purpose of evasion,
or purpose of evasion,
and that I will
and that I will
well and faithfully
well and faithfully
discharge the duties
discharge duties
upon which I'm about to enter.
upon which I'm about to enter.
Congratulations. Because you are a board member for the district, we have a pair of socks for you. So I'd like to give that to you, and I think we want to take a picture. Maybe we get the board to come on in together. Snap one picture over here.
They're right here.
Oh,
no. I'm good.
More. Thank you.
Good job. Congratulations.
Hubert, that's his name, right? Hubert. All right, our second one is a ceremony swearing in for our new Victor Valley High School Police Chief.
The ceremony that's swearing in for Chief of Police, Chief Stoll, and today with his is his wife, who will be ceremonially pinning on his badge. And so we're happy to have him, really, as we elevate our security protocols in the district, and it's an honor to have Chief Stoll as a part of us as a district. So, Stoll, if you raise your right hand. Okay. I'm going to go faster for him. Let's see if he can. I, Christopher Stoll,
I, Christopher Stoll,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support
that I will support
and defend
and defend
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California
and the Constitution of the State of California
against all enemies,
against all enemies,
foreign and domestic,
foreign and domestic,
that I will bear true faith
that I will bear true faith
and allegiance
and allegiance
to the Constitution of the United States
to the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California,
and the Constitution of the State of California,
that I take this obligation freely
that I take this obligation freely
without any mental reservations
without any mental reservations
or purpose of evasion,
or purpose of evasion,
and that I will well
that I will well
and faithfully
and faithfully
discharge the duties
discharge the duties
upon which I'm about to enter.
upon which I'm about to enter.
Chief, congratulations. Did you get him good?
Did you pen him?
Come on up here, we'll take one more picture. All of us together.
I know.
We gotta make sure we get them.
You'll get it all in there.
Nope, you're okay.
We got you?
In the way.
No, you're fine.
You're okay.
Here, go.
Okay.
No, you're over here.
Oh, no, you stay right there.
Gotta be in there to dance.
Okay, now with all our swearing in, we want to call the meeting to order. And I'm going to make a real change here and have our student lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Huber. Our flag is up here.
Everyone's ready?
Yes.
Ready, begin.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, we have approval of the agenda. Can I get a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Second? And vote?
Aye.
Aye. All right, we're gonna talk about SkillsUSA. I love that stuff. Anyway, it's gonna be Ramoni, are you speaking on it?
It's going to be Dr. Williams, but
Dr. Williams, oh, cool, that's even better. Dr. Williams. SkillsUSA.
Yes, this evening we would like to honor two amazing students who have won great distinctions at the SkillsUSA competition right before we went off on summer break. And I'm going to ask Dr. Williams, who's our CTE coordinator, to come tell you a little bit about SkillsUSA and then the achievements of these two amazing students. Dr. Williams.
Thank you. Good evening, board members, Superintendent Coles, and Cabinet. I'm Kelly Williams, the District CTE Coordinator, and I am thrilled to introduce to you two outstanding students from Lakeview Leadership Academy. Matthew Ortega, a 9th grader, is here today, and Jeremy Bussey, an 8th grader. These talented young men have excelled in the Information Computers Technology Robotics program, particularly in the SkillsUSA Robotics Urban Search and Rescue category. Their dedication and hard work has paid off. They represented our state of California at the national level, securing an impressive 8th grade at the 2024 National SkillsUSA competition. To qualify for this competition in Atlanta, Georgia, this summer, Matthew had earned the gold medal at the state competition for search and urban rescue. Matthew and Jeremy exemplified the excellence and potential of our students in the STEM and CTE programs, and we're incredibly proud of their achievements. Accompanying these couples, remarkable students, is their exceptional advisors, Ms. Couples and Mr. Couples. Their unwavering support has guided not only Matthew and Jeremy, but many other students on their robotics journey, both in and out of the classroom. Without their dedication and expertise, these accomplishments would not have been possible. We owe them a tremendous debt of gratitude. Thank you, and thank you for representing our district at the national level. All right, and so we want to give Matthew a certificate. This one's for Johnny.
I'd like to present you with the district's challenge coins. This is the challenge coins that basically for those who exemplify our core values of equity, proficiency, as well as a focus on results. And there's no doubt you've got all three of them done. So congratulations. I'd like to one picture.
Congratulations, Jack.
Hubert, come on.
Get over here.
You can display your socks though.
Can you see him?
Let me see you a little bit better, please. There we go. Thank you. Thumbs up, that's good, all right. Okay, thank you.
Congratulations.
Congratulations. Great job. What happened to my pen? Okay. The next one is our resolution. The first resolution is Hispanic Heritage Month.
So, good, you want to take I need
Go
a
ahead.
motion in a second.
Yeah.
Go on.
Thank you.
All right, make a motion.
You know, being a Mexican immigrant myself since 1949, and finally receiving my naturalization documents, making me a proud American citizen in 1976. And in celebration of Hispanic Heritage Month, I very proudly make a motion to approve resolution number 25.05.
Second?
So this, the Heritage Hispanics Month, it's celebrated from September 15th to October 15th. And it recognizes the contributions and the influence of the Hispanic Americans to the history, culture, and the achievements of the United States of America. The origins came back in 1968 by President Lyndon B. Johnson, and then in 1988 it was expanded to a month-long celebration by President Ronald Reagan. And the focus is on culture and its contributions, and the month highlights the rich histories, the cultures, the contributions of Americans whose ancestors came from Spain, Mexico, the Caribbean, Central and South America. Celebrations often include festivals, parades, music, dance, and educational events. And so it is my honor to be able to bring this resolution to you for the board in honor of Hispanic Heritage Month.
And the vote? The vote?
Aye.
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 Aye. Okay. All right, and our second one, 5.2, a resolution on the LGBTQ History Month as well.
So moved.
Second.
So the LGBTQ plus History Month, it's celebrated every October in the United States, in Canada, and several other countries. It was established and recognize and celebrate the history and achievements and contributions of the LGBTQ community and individuals. This month, it serves as a time for reflection on the struggles, the accomplishments of the LGBTQ plus community, as well as to educate others about its history. The primary goal of this month is to recognize and celebrate the vital role of the LGBTQ plus individuals that they have played in shaping our history. It seeks to promote a more inclusive understanding of history by highlighting the contributions of the LGBTQ plus figures who may have been overlooked or erased. And it also encourages people, especially the youth, to embrace their identities and to take pride in their place within our history.
May I vote?
Aye.
Aye. All right. Presentation of the OCR update.
All right, good evening again. This evening, as part of our OCR agreement annually, Tiffany Hampton, our Director of Student Services, will be providing with you an update on our enrollment, some discipline data, and some next steps that we are working with our sites on to improve the achievements of our students here in our district with regards to discipline, attendance, and everything else. So, Mrs. Hampton.
Good evening, Superintendent Coles, Board President, Board members, Executive Cabinet, and community. Tonight, we are going to just briefly update on the agreement. So, next slide, please. Next slide. So tonight on the agenda, we have the enrollment update, discipline update, a security and safety update, school climate update, as well as what we do for table talks here in the district to involve all our stakeholders. Next slide, please. Thank you. So here's an enrollment chart. The enrollment just basically breaks down by school, ethnicity, and our at-risk students, as well as our special education population. Right there, the enrollment total is 11,478, but we are actually up 11,534 as of today. So that it's old as of last week, but new as of today, we have higher enrollment. Next slide, please. So here we are comparing last fall 2022 to 2023. And so you'll see at the very top is 2023 are the most frequent violations that we have. So we're looking at defiance disruption, physical aggression, which would be our fighting or cause, attempted to cause. We also have controlled substance use. And then we have our drug paraphernalia, as well as tobacco and nicotine and hostile educational environment. As you can see, where we have the most frequent disruption is one of those most frequent violations, and it's significant. So in our red, it was significant as in fall, and then you have other pockets of red where it's our fighting, and it's also our tobacco use and nicotine use, as well as hostile ed environment. But then if you switch over to the next slide, you'll see that in spring, when you compare spring 22 to spring 23, there's a lot of green there. So there's a lot of improvement in the areas of physical aggression, less fighting, the use of the possession of a controlled substance, as well as the possession of drug paraphernalia. There's just still pockets of red and significant use when it comes to our tobacco and nicotine use. Next, please. And here just basically tells you that it went up. So we have where our fighting decreased, our use in profanity, obscenity decreased, but we still had a little bit of a hike with our defiance and disruption, and mostly towards the end of the school year. Next slide, please. And here is our suspension data. So I'm basically comparing semester 1 to semester 2 of last year, and you can see that there were pockets of lots of suspension probably during the first semester, but then there was a huge decrease during the second semester. So a lot of that decreased from one semester to the next. And this year is almost about the same. It's going pretty much about that way. Next slide, please. Here's just a slide that's discussing total suspensions or students suspended, and then the days that are lost for suspension. We did very well in all three of the areas where you see there was a decrease in suspensions, there was a decrease in the number of students who were suspended, and there was also an increase in the number of days that students were at school. So less suspensions, less students suspended, more days that they're in the classroom getting the learning. Next slide, please. Here again are the discipline dispositions. So we're talking about whether they received OCI, on-campus intervention, suspensions, in-school suspensions. Some of the updates are we no longer use the code in-school suspension. They're getting OCI, which is on-campus intervention. So they're not in school in trouble. They are in school getting the assistance that they need. And then also the codes were updated to where we are reflecting that there's not a negative impact when law enforcement is involved all the time. It is rather they're getting an intervention with law enforcement that usually involves some type of guidance. Next slide, please. So here we're talking about disproportionality, and it's from one year to the next with OCI. So you will see that African Americans are still very high in receiving OCI for 2022-23 school year, and that's based on the enrollment. So they're about 17% or 16% of the district enrollment, but they're still about 40% of the OCI recipients. So there's still a disproportionality there, but you'll see in 23 that number got lower. So while they did have a higher percentage of OCI during the 22-23 school year, that disproportionality percentage got a little lower last year. Next slide, please. When it comes to school suspensions and disproportionality, you'll see again, African Americans are still disproportionate in terms of the enrollment is about 16%, but they're still over, getting about 37 in 22 and 43% of the suspensions in 23. So we still have a little work to do. It doesn't mean that the suspensions were not warranted. It's just we're working with our students more this year. Next slide, please. So some of the discipline updates, like I talked about earlier, is we changed the codes. So codes have been switched. You can no longer suspend for 48900K, defiance disruption, that's K through 12. And also we are no longer suspending for attendance. Students are not in school, but we want them to be in school, so it's kind of a disadvantage to have them out of school when we want them in school. So we are not suspending for attendance any longer. Rachel Storch, as well as our comprehensive high schools, meet with the OCR attorney to discuss the discipline matrix and to update that information that was already started. And then student services actually receive suspensions on a daily basis, and we go over them and we talk to the school sites for guidance if they need help. And then also there was a meeting that was held with the assistant principals as well with the attorney from OCR, and they kind of calibrated what they do from site to site. So went over some scenarios, what would you do if, and kind of came to a consensus on maybe that wasn't the best practice, or this is what we do at this school site, you might want to try that. So lots of collaboration happening between the schools and just discussing different incidents so that we can make better decisions. Next slide, please. And so here we had a 3-day training with our security staff at the beginning of the school year to go over proper techniques and the security handbook. But we also were joined by our Director of Special Education, Larry Brunson, to go over positive interactions with our special education department and our population. Also, we now have a new chief of police. We have Chief of Police Stoll, who started with us on August 5th. So he's been a great addition and just guidance, helping us out, giving us information, and look forward to working with him more with our security team in the future. Next slide, please. These are just pictures from the training where our security staff got the opportunity to meet with their administrators on one of the days of the training to talk about best practices, what are they doing well, and then maybe some changes that could happen as a result of what they know now. And so they had a great conversation, lots of collaboration that day, as well as you see a picture of Mr. Brunson talking with our security staff about special education. Next slide, please. And so table talks, here is basically where we're having our conversations with various groups and stakeholders to get everyone's voice. So we have a community forum that's pretty much led by Superintendent Cole, where he meets with a group of community leaders and they discuss community concerns, and then they share out district work, what's going on, what's to come, what are the issues so that we can mitigate them. There's also a superintendent advisory where, again, Superintendent Cole meets with our students to discuss their concerns and what they want to see and coming up with solutions and having kids come up with that solution. And then we have the Equity Task Force. The task force, we meet on a monthly basis to review data and then go over the students that need the most and then try to work to support that. And then the Community Schools Task Force meets on a monthly basis to discuss the needs and assets of each school, and then how can we better serve the community that we work in, live in. Next slide, please. If you have any questions, that is the contact information for myself and Rachel Storch, who are in Student Services. And thank you this evening.
Thank you. Any questions? Any questions? Questions?
Nope. Just really quickly, at the slide where you show that the schools, most of them decreased, the comprehensive high schools decreased second semester discipline. But I noticed that those that have 7th and 8th grade, whether it's just a junior high, which it's got 7 through 12, those I think every one of them increased second semester. Have we identified why?
It usually happens during the end of the school year. So they do really well, and then at the end of the school year, and you mostly see it with our 8th graders, they get a little antsy. And so you see an increase probably about the beginning of May. It's not until the very end of the school year. Up until there, it was pretty even until the behavior started coming out in May.
Okay,
Mhm.
thank you very much.
You're welcome.
And I think as a reminder to, OCR itself is, what's brought out to the light is we want to continue to do a job of the students who we suspend, in school, out of school, but what really prompted OCR was there was a disproportionality between the races on the amount of days and who was suspended, and that accurate reporting. And that's what's it's brought to light so much more, and that is becoming so much more in alignment, and no means that OCR nor us says, look, don't suspend kids, because if we need to suspend them to keep our schools safe, we're going to continue to do that, but we're going to do it based on an equity and an equality basis, not based on, anything else besides, the merits of the issue. And I think when I look at the schools, that has really shined a light on ensuring that that's what's happening. And then as a secondary result is also us looking at all of the amount of suspensions that we have at our schools. But the first and foremost was to ensure, despite the race or the color of your skin, the discipline itself does not matter. And that's what really prompted OCR, and that we can report on. That is continuously an improvement, but we still have a long way to go. So good steps in the right direction. When OCR is gone and we've checked their boxes, this work won't stop. This work has to continue.
Right.
Until it becomes, infused as a part of our thing. Right now, OCR is watching what we're doing, but I'm glad that they are, but for us, it won't stop. This has to continue. So,
Okay.
thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, too.
Appreciate it. All right, public comments, student comments. We're going to do Lillian from Adelanto High.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Thanks for being here.
Good evening, board members, superintendent, and community partners. I'm Lillian Statham, 11th grade e-board treasurer at AHS. And at AHS, our student learner outcomes are to achieve, honor, and serve, and I'm proud to highlight how we are living out these values every day. The newsletter provided to each of you goes into great detail, and we welcome you to read it when you have time. Achieve. Our commitment to academic excellence is evident in our recent efforts to support our students' growth. We ended the year with nearly 50% of our students meeting A through G requirements and offered the most dual enrollment classes during the day, with students earning almost 1,000 college credits last year. To increase the number of students meeting and exceeding standards, our 9th and 11th grade English and Social Studies teachers participated in a reading apprenticeship training from August 13th to 15th. And our Heritage and Legacy programs are kicking off to support our A through G programs, and Avid tutors are now working directly in classrooms to support our student success. Honor. We are excited to announce that AHS has earned platinum status in the PBIS program. Building on this achievement, we've launched the Renaissance program to recognize the hard work of our students and staff faculty. Renaissance is designed to increase student engagement, academic achievement, and staff morale. This month, we're integrating, Renaissance rewards into our 5-star program, ensuring that recognition is a cornerstone of our culture. Ms. Kayes will be presenting at the National 5-Star Conference this month. Additionally, our Thrive program, where Ms. Longera is supporting our foster youth students, is off to a great start, with many of them showing drastic improvements in their attendance. Serve. Our commitment to service shines through from the events we host to connect with our community. Our lunchtime rallies, our club rushes, pool parties, senior meetings and events, ice cream socials, and staff versus student kickball games, blood drives, and our 4th annual community game. We provide numerous opportunities for students to give back and create lasting memories. Our single lunch is going well. It has made attending clubs a lot easier, and students are appreciating the new tables we have gotten with umbrellas. We welcome you all to vote for AHS in the Daily Press contest for the Best Student section in the High Desert, where we are currently taking the lead and there is no limit to voting. So please take your time to vote for us. AHS is more than just a place of learning. It is a vibrant community dedicated to achieving, honoring, and serving. Thank you for your continued support as we strive to build a learning environment where all students can thrive.
Before you sit down, with the new barbering program that you guys have there, I'd like you to pass along that I would like them to cut my hair, and I promise you it won't take very long at all.
We're working on it.
Okay, you let them
Right now,
know.
it's taking them 2 hours, but we're getting there.
Okay, you let them know. I'm ready.
2 hours.
Okay, thank you, nice job.
Okay, Noel from Sims. Noel. 2 hours. Boy.
When I go, it usually takes them about 4 minutes.
If it takes 2 hours, they'd be cutting each
2
other.
hours. One strain here. Hi, how are you, Noel?
Thanks for being here. Appreciate it.
You should have sat right there.
Good evening, board. My name is Noel. I am a commissioner of spirit or communications over at Sims. I am here representing Sims to go through all of the events that we have been having at our school. I am a pretty fast talker, so please slow me down if you need me to. On July 31st was our orientation for new students. The student store was open to sell uniforms and PE clothes for the school year. Our first day of school was August 5th. Our ASB and Link Crew students guided newer students to their first period classes, the middle schoolers or freshmen who don't know where they're supposed to be. And we provided Polaroid pictures for all the students on their first day of school. Picture day was August 15th for IDs as well as the yearbook. We used Cherished Memories to take pictures of everybody. We got our IDs given out that day, and pictures are going to be delivered in a few weeks. Our athletics, cross country and volleyball have begun their tryouts and are already in season. Volleyball have had a few games. Cross country has had one meet. Senior Sunrise, seniors met on the blacktop around 6 a.m. on the first day of school to celebrate their senior year as the sun came up and snacks were sold. Our Club Food Fest, clubs sold food and advertised their clubs on August 23rd. That evening during the back to school night, and the clubs also shared information and sold snacks on the back to school night to their families. And we had Kona Ice and JR Tacos were selling food to the families and donated back to the class of 2024 and 2026. A lot of our clubs did sell out, which made a lot of profit for our school. And last, our back to school night was actually August 22nd, and that evening the clubs also sold food and shared information about their clubs, so more people would join later on in the weeks. And that is all. Thank you for your time this evening. Are there any questions?
No question?
Good job.
Great.
Thank you for your time.
Okay, Calvert and Nomi, is it Nomi? From Larea Middle School, our brand new school.
Good evening, board. Hello, my name is Calvert, and I am an ASB student from Larea Middle School, and I would like to share with you some of our upcoming news and events. On August 23rd, we held our first dance of the school year. We had over 150 students attend and rock out to our 90s themed dance. Sports at Larea. Larea is entering our second year competing in the HDAL athletes. Our cross-country team has grown from 6 athletes last year to over 25 runners. This year with our boys varsity team finishing second in both our races in October. We will begin competing in our second girls JV and varsity volleyball season and our first boys volleyball team. Larea's PBIS team has been planning fun events to encourage positive behavior. We have designed new signage for our campus that aligns with our PBS goals so that students can learn to master these expectations, both inside and out of the classroom. Mental health and wellness. Larea will begin mental health awareness groups with the coping skills group starting this month to support identifying skills to manage stress, anxiety, and sadness. The Wellness Center, The Cave, is off to a great start, achieving 100 students a day by accessing the wellness room daily. We will also have activities to recognize National Suicide Prevention Awareness Day, September 10th, to provide students and staff with information on access to the support needed. Our new volleyball coach, Mrs. Gant, will be hosting volleyball camp next week for the students at Larea to learn basic volleyball skills for students throughout the team. Skate night will be held at Holiday Skates on September 17th from 6 o'clock to 8:30. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Albert. Annabelle from Option for Youth.
Hi, I'm Annabelle. I've been an ASB member at Options for about 3 years now. Our ongoing community support continues as we conclude our July intercession, where we had partnered with local high school counselors to assist students in the high desert who needed to take classes during the month of July. As a part of July awareness, we had watched Dead on Arrival to raise awareness about the dangers of fentanyl. Our Career Pathways Coordinators teams coordinated a workshop titled My One of One that provided students the opportunity to create their own clothing brand and to learn about entrepreneurship, which was a great success with about 16 students in participation. In partnership with the counseling team, communication has become consistent with the regional information on social media and monthly newsletters for Mustangs and the families to stay updated on upcoming opportunities and community partnerships. We have also begun offering Guidance 5051 courses with Victor Valley College and the opportunity for dual enrollment. Career technical education courses are a multi-layered sequence of courses that include academic knowledge with technical and occupational knowledge to provide students with post-secondary education and careers that will be starting soon. The career technical education classes that are being offered are Intro to Cosmetology with a nail tech certification, Intro to Animal Science Veterinary with a vet assistant certification, and Health Science as a certified nursing assistant. Our crew orientation began on August 27th, 2024, and this group allows senior students to collaborate on the necessary processes, applications, and deadlines for attending a four-year college or university out of high school. We have also opened up the applications for our HBCU college tour field trip from October 21st to the 25th. Students will be visiting 4 to 6 historically black colleges and universities and learning about their schools. Our sites will be hosting the back to school night soon, showcasing our Mustang groups and opportunities available for the students. The guiding group and the student council have already begun their activities, fostering leadership and community engagement among students. Additionally, our groups such as GSA, Gender Sexuality Alliance, and the tabletop gaming groups will be starting. Our SDI classes have started strong, and our sports season kicked off with the volleyball team and the basketball team. The volleyball and the basketball teams played their first games on Friday, August 23rd, with both teams winning. Go Mustangs. And we look forward to seeing the events and the wins that our wonderful students and athletes will bring this school year.
Very good.
Could you
Okay.
repeat, I didn't get that down, the date of your back-to-school night?
We have different sites, so it's different for each different site.
Brian,
I'll
could you?
get you the information.
Thank you so much, Brian, appreciate it.
Yep.
Okay, Han and Beatrice from University Prep.
Hello, my name is Han,
Hi, my name is Beatrice Alvison.
and we're the student representatives for University Prep. And during the school board meeting, we'll be talking about music, clubs, school events, and extra activities.
Okay, so for music, our music classes such as band, choir, guitar, and strings, they're currently practicing for the winter concert this December. And there's no main events happening as of now, just preparation. And some main events in the winter include marching band's Christmas parade and veterans parade. And then for clubs, recently we have had club fair allowing the students to pick a club of their interest. We've had many new clubs this year like astrophysics and literature club, and reactivation of the rest of the clubs. This week and last week, most clubs have already had their first meeting in which they introduce the club and discuss plans for end of summer splash. And school events that we've had is blood drive. Recently we held a blood drive with ASB students working at it, which was successful with 44 people that we drew blood from, and even people from down the hill came to get their blood drawn. And then, as I said earlier, End of Summer Splash, it's a social event for friends and family that allows clubs, teams, and classes to sell food items or host games to earn money, which we are currently planning for in terms of decorations, Spirit Week, posters, and more. And that event will be next week, Friday, September 13th.
And then in addition to that, we also have the prep rally coming up with End of Summer Splash, which will take place on September 13th. And during that event, we'll allow middle schoolers and high school students to gather together at the gym, and we'll introduce the teams of current ongoing sports and the theme for End of Summer Splash, which is Team Beach. And then going on, we're holding mini games during this event with teachers and students participating together to boost student morale and involvement. And we'll also have our cheerleaders perform them. And we also have homecoming, which is designed by our class of 2026 for juniors. And then according to our executive board, we've chosen the theme of Coraline. And we're currently in the preparation stage for decorations and catering essentials like DJs, photo booths, and theme decorations such as flower peace center ornaments. And then on top of that, we've had 4 games so far for our athletics, winning 3 out of 4 games. And then on top of that, we also had our senior lock-in on August 23rd, which discussed the senior package and additional information. And we've also been having guest speakers come over from various colleges for our seniors, such as the one we had a couple of days ago from Cal State San Bernardino. And extra events additional from that is each class is preparing their this year's ongoing class apparel and fundraisers. An example of this is with class of 2026, which recently partnered with T-Light to serve boba to our students. And to conclude, our student body is committed to raising school spirit and morale, as well as providing our students with the various opportunities in both academics and extracurriculars. And we'd like to take this time to thank you for your time. And please feel free to address any comments, concerns, or questions.
Very good, thank you. Okay, Cynthia and Parker from Lakeview Leadership Academy.
Good afternoon. Our names are Cynthia Frias, ASB President.
And Parker Rockwell, Junior Class President. And tonight we are representing Lakeview Leadership Academy.
To start off August, we held our first Charge Spirit Week. This week focused on students being compassionate, honorable, accountable, respectful, genuine, and engaged.
We also held a club fair where clubs recruited students during lunch.
On August 30th, we had our senior sunrise on the field and celebrated the beginning of our last year of high school.
Yesterday was back to school night. We had a great turnout. We had food trucks, music, and parents visited classrooms.
Grand Canyon University was on campus today to do a presentation to seniors and any other students on campus interested. On September 13th, the senior class is holding an ISA senior/staff member fundraiser at lunch. It will also be our first club rush of the year where clubs can come out and sell snacks to all students.
Our first pep rally of the year is on September 20th, where we will announce our homecoming courts and recognize fall sports. We also will have a live musical performance. Homecoming will be held on September 21st in the MPR from 7:30 to 10:30 p.m.
We are holding our first Unity Forums of the year on September 25th and 26th, which will be ran by our peer counseling class.
The five-star store is now open every other Friday, and students look forward to earning points and redeeming rewards. Staff members will be attending Unity Camp at Pali Mountain September 13th through the 15th, and high school students will have an opportunity to come on in October.
Thank you for your time and continued support. We hope you have a good evening.
Okay, Stella and Adlin from Hook Junior High School, right?
Thanks for being here. Thanks for being here. Appreciate it.
Thank you for coming.
Good afternoon, board members, Superintendent Coles, cabinet, district staff, and community members. My name is Stella Ray Singer, the ASB 8th grade president.
And I'm Madeline Ramirez, ASB 8th grade vice president.
Here at Hook Junior High School, we have done lots of things to get ready for this awesome school year. To start off the school year, we had orientation and the ASB class sold PE clothes. On the first day of this school year, we held a lunchtime activity. Lunchtime activities are a great way to get your student population involved. Recently, we had a cross-country and wrestling tryouts. Our teams are great and we're so excited for this season to start.
Volleyball tryouts are coming up soon and the students are so excited. 3 weeks ago, our ASB had a lock-in. It was so fun and everyone loved it. Back to school night was last week and it was so great. We hosted our back to school dance last Friday and everyone had so much fun. It was a great turnout with many students in attendance. We had face painting, fake tattoos, games, and a snack bar. The music was awesome and many students were dancing.
At the moment, we are selling chocolate bars for $1 to fundraise for our ASB conference at Disneyland in October. We are also selling Myers ice cream bars during both lunches every day. On the second week of school, we had a fire drill to prepare the students for a real fire.
Avid is going on a field trip tomorrow to Cal State San Bernardino and they're so excited. Earlier today, we had an expectations assembly to show what is expected from the students.
In addition, we are also happy to report that Hook Junior High was recently recognized for our school-wide PBIS work. Hook received a silver medal for the second year in a row. While we are very happy for this recognition, we will strive to bring home a gold medal next year.
We thank you all for having us today and hope that you liked our speech. Have a good day.
William Hernandez from Silverado.
So Sergeant Hernandez's partner did not show up tonight, and he's a little nervous, which I don't understand because he outranks most of us. So he has asked me to step in, and I'm going to be Kaylee, so please pretend that I'm younger, cuter, and skinnier. Good evening, VVUHSD board members, students, teachers, staff, and guests. Thank you for allowing us to join you all this evening. My name is Kaylee Thompson, and I'm a proud Silverado Hawk, a Link crew member, and cadet first class for our Silverado Cadet Corps.
And my name is Williams Hernandez. I'm also a proud Silverado Hawk, a sergeant for the Silverado Cadet Corps, and a Link crew member. We wanted to share some of the exciting things that have taken place over our first month of the school year, and extend our thanks to the members of the board that regularly supports our Silverado events. We have several board members in attendance for both our Heritage and Legacy kickoff meeting and back to school night.
Over the last several weeks, we have hosted events such as Club Rush, where over 20 clubs and sports were given the opportunity to promote and recruit student members during lunch. ASB and administration has also helped co-host 2 silly national holidays that were a hit, including National Left-Handed Handers Day, where lefties were recognized and given some cool left-handed specific school supplies, and National Tell a Joke Day, where students passed out a corny joke at the front gate and the day was filled with smiles and dad jokes.
Was Carl there?
Carl was the featured guest.
This
Or the
week
butt of
we're-
joke.
This week we are looking forward to an epic 1980s themed homecoming. The big game against Patriot is tomorrow night, where cheer and all of ASB classes will both perform at halftime, and our king and queen will be crowned. This Saturday night is our retro-themed arcade homecoming dance, which is sure to be rad.
And since this is Kaylee speaking, she is guaranteeing a football win. And lastly, we would like to extend our welcome to you all to attend this upcoming Wednesday night's volleyball game on September 11th. We are hosting a USA Pride themed night, a 9/11 recognition ceremony, and we are encouraging our crowd to wear red, white, and blue. In honor of Patriot Day that evening, we will be inviting military and first responders from local police and fire departments to attend our event for free and stand to be recognized for their service to our community. This special event will take place between the varsity and JV games at around 5 p.m.
Thank you for your time, and we hope to see you out at Club Fair on September 19. Go Hawks!
Sergeant Hernandez, did you come here, man? Hey, as a veteran, thank you. Appreciate you being in the ROTC.
Let's see, it's Nicole, I think, and then Kayla or Kayra. And you're from Victor Valley. What's your name? How do you say your name? Oh, it is Kayla. Okay. How are you, Kayla? Good.
Hi, Caleb. Can't never have enough Jackrabbit stuff.
How are you? I'm good. How are you doing? Good? Yeah?
Appreciate the Jackrabbit stuff. I graduated at 61 from Montreal High School. Yeah, senior kid. Jackrabbit business. Thank you.
Did you get them all?
No, I didn't get the last one.
This one, I think the last one from Bill.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen of the board. My name is Kayla Thomas, Victor's ASB president.
And I am Nicole Guido, Victor's ASB vice president.
Our heritage and legacy programs have started the year off strong. Both programs have hosted their annual parent night and had over 100 visitors at each meeting. Our team has grown and now include additional staff members for support. Our heritage team is led by Mr. Michael Lillard. He is assisted by Mrs. Taylor Lillard and Miss Mariah Carrington. Our legacy team is led by Miss Elizabeth Alamo. She will be assisted this year by Mr. Edgar Valeria and Mr. Xavier Gonzalez. These programs successfully help students grow in A through G requirements for graduation during 2023-2024 school year and are positioned for continued growth in the upcoming year. Our ASB hosted our annual Fall Club Rush on August 21st. We had over 30 clubs and groups with information for our student population. At lunch, our quad was packed with students signing up for new experiences on campus. The best way to get students involved is to have groups and activities they feel comfortable being a part of, and it was wonderful to see so many students getting involved. At Back to School Night, our Family Engagement Center hosted a community fair in our quad, with many community outreach groups in attendance. Some groups in attendance include California Help, High Desert School Chance, San Bernardino County Superintendent of Schools, Foster Youth Services, and Molina Healthcare, and among others. Jostens was also in attendance to help our seniors parents navigate the most important year for their students. We want to thank you all of the board and district members who attended that evening. We love seeing you there. The VVHS Drama Department invites you to join us for our magical production of Puffs. Showtimes will be September 25th to 27th at 4 p.m., September 25th and 26th at 7 p.m. Harry Potter lovers, this show is for you. Our ceremony to honor our 2024-2025 academic honor roll students will be held on October 1st, 2024 in the Mad Gym at VVHS. This event will honor our honor roll, dean's list, principal's list, and top 10 students in each grade level. We would love for you all to attend this event. Fall sports are in full swing. Our volleyball team have moved into leagues and are serving up some incredible action on the court. Student attendance at these events have grown already just in the first few weeks. Our varsity team is 2-0, heading into our first game this evening against 29 Palms. Please join us at the end of this meeting for what looks like to be a great game. Next week is our annual bonfire end game for what is one of the longest rivalries in the country, the Bell game against Apple Valley. We are excited to host this game this year and have a few surprises in the works. Again, your support is so appreciated in and around campus and at our sporting events. On our behalf, Victor Valley High School would like to thank you all for your continued support and have a beautiful evening.
Nicole,
Thank you.
Kara, just so that you know, for those of us that are older, we think an old football game is against Barstow, not Apple Valley.
Yeah.
Apple Valley's the upstart new kids, but it still is a very old tradition. Okay, that's next one. We know.
Don't worry. You can come to those.
Thanks for the Jackrabbit jersey.
Yes,
Thank you very much. You can never have enough Jackrabbit stuff.
I actually saw jackrabbits when I was going to school. Every morning when I would come from the base and the bus would pull in, there'd be all these jackrabbits right across the field. Every morning. And so there were jackrabbits.
Oh, yeah.
But now, I don't know what there is.
I used to deliver papers out to Kemper Campbell Ranch.
Yeah.
And the jackrabbits out there were just all over the place.
Yeah. At one point, that was the case.
Yeah.
Now, public comments. You can read that for me?
2 cards.
I have 2.
Just gotta read that.
Oh.
You gotta read that.
So, if you wish to address the board on any topic, including any item on the agenda, please submit your comments to the board president by completing a request to address board card prior to the meeting and submitting it to the assistant to the superintendent. The president will recognize those who desire to speak either during the public comment section or the agenda before a particular agenda item. Each speaker should move quickly to the microphone and announce your name before beginning your presentation. Meetings are taped for later transcription. Each speaker is allocated a maximum of 3 minutes. The president may choose to limit each topic to 10 of no more than 20 minutes if substantial numbers of people wish to address the board on one topic. Testimony should be brief and to the point. Speakers should not repeat testimony already presented. Board action may not legally be taken on any item not specifically listed on the agenda. The board may ask that such items be placed on the next agenda for consideration. Testimony is not protected from damage claims for slander. Public charges or allegations may result in legal action being brought by those individuals. The board values constructive community comments and suggestions. It welcomes your participation in the democratic process.
Okay, and that's Esmeralda Lopez, I think. We do have a comment.
Good afternoon, everybody on the board. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for having me here. Before I start, I do have a question. Is it possible my son preferred not to speak, but he did write an email? Would I be able to use his 3 minutes on top of my 3 minutes? No?
Just the one.
Okay, that's totally fine. The reason why I'm here today is because I am the mother of a student, an 8th grader, attending one of your guys' schools. And I'm sorry to break down. Last year, there was a lot that went on at home. Major domestic violence that caused my son's grades to drop very much. And moving forward, he is doing much better now. But tryouts came. He's a big lover for baseball. I've been a team mom pretty much his whole life when he's played baseball. And he tried out for the baseball team. And at first he was denied. And then the next day he was approved for him to be on the tryouts. And he made the team. His name went on the roster. And he was so happy because he tried so hard. We worked so hard this summer because we knew that season was coming, and financially I couldn't afford it, but I promised him that we were going to do our best. So over the summer, we worked really, really hard to Amazon. I delivered packages our whole summer, sometimes 3 in the morning to 5 in the morning, and then we'd do it back again. And I would pay them $10 for every trip, so that way they knew that they were being compensated, even though it was a lot, like the $20 was a lot for me. So he made the team. His name went on the roster, like I mentioned to you, and then he was cut because of his grades. And I explained to them there's court documents, there's every kind of proof that there was on the reasons why he was, his grades had dropped, and they didn't care. They didn't care at all. So I addressed it. I spoke with people. I spoke with the principal. I asked them to take all those things into consideration because my son is devastated. He really is, because he hears about how all his teams are gonna, his friends, they're all on the team. They keep questioning, when are you gonna play? Well, now it turns out that they know the reason why he was dropped, and they've texted him, letting him know what was disclosed. At this point, all I ask for is for one opportunity. I'm not here. I don't want, my son's not a bad kid. There's no disciplinary issues. He just wants to be on the baseball team. He made it to the baseball team, and it's going to be so hard when it's a pep rally and the whole team is getting presented while he's sitting down in the bench because he didn't make it over something that was not his fault. He needed the support, and I've apologized many times because my head at the moment I was struggling so much I couldn't give him the support that he deserved. And now he's being held accountable for actions that, yes, of course, we could have maybe, but it was so hard at the time. It was so much going on. And I just ask with all my heart and all the humbleness for you guys to intercede for him to be on the game, on the team, because this is affecting him so much. And I know how hard it's going to be for him when it's game time and all his friends get to go, and it's like, well, you made the team, but guess what? You're not going. That's going to be so hard on him, on his mental health. I did forward letters from family members and everybody that I was able to, asking for this. So I ask you guys with all the bottom of my heart, I'm not here asking him or pulling him out of trouble. He just wants to be on the baseball team, and he made it. That's all I want to say today.
Thank you. All right.
Carl, can you look into that
It
and let
will.
us know?
We'll look into that, and then
Yeah,
if
we
you can give
will.
me a copy of that email too, I'll make sure that I have it as well as the board. We'll get that email as well distributed. Okay. And thank you for taking the time to write the email.
That you will also be forwarding if you guys are okay with that.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Shannon? Is it Clayford or Clay? Clay.
Hi, board. How are you guys this evening?
Good evening.
Good evening. How you guys doing? So, my name is Shannon Clayton. As you can see, I'm one of the bus drivers. I work in transportation. All our bus drivers are here. Can you guys stand up? I have had the pleasure of working for Victorville Union High School District for 3 years. We stand here asking for help. We have been to several union meetings to voice our concerns about our hours, our CalPERS contributes, and other concerns we have. But we have been pushed away, we have been humiliated, we have been yelled at and talked about. We, as the Victorville Union employees, we are held at a higher expectation. And we pride ourselves, the cream of the crop. Yet we feel overlooked, passed over, and as far as hours and our CalPERS. As you are aware that there is a nationwide bus driver shortage. I have included our article. You guys can go through it. I'll give it to her. But it's a nationwide school bus driver shortage. It pains me to say that if something is not done soon, Victorville will be losing drivers, or our drivers may face losing roofs over our heads, the ability to feed our families, and this should never be a problem for employees we should have to face. We are extremely grateful for the recent raises we received, but let me break it down, the cost and examples. Last school year, I had a 6.25 hour route, which I grossed $5,300 a month. Now I have only a 5-hour route, which grossed me $3,400. After the standard deductions, I only took home $2,000 for the entire month. The current average rent in Victorville is $1,600 to $2,000. Can you see the financial dilemma we all face? Our question to you is, what has changed to cause this drop? Mr. Cole said at our kickoff, our student counts have continued to grow. So what has caused the drop in our hours? The surrounding districts guarantee their drivers 6.5 hours, and their comparable pay and insurance is just up there with ours. We are asking you as our leaders to help us so we can support ourselves and stay a part of the Victorville Union High School family. And I'm gonna close, but my thing is, we have drivers that have been here for 20 plus years, and they're getting 5 and 6 hour routes, and they have to push their retirement back just so that they can feed their families. And this is just too much. It's too much. All we asking is for help. We don't want to leave. We love it here, but make it comfortable for us. We see new jobs being posted, new jobs being voted on with salaries. That's beautiful. But the bus drivers, we the first people that these kids see in the morning and the last people they see in the evening. And we're looked over, we're passed over, we're talked about, we're ridiculed by our own union. I went to the union today and asked questions, just simple questions about our hours and about our CalPERS. And we were told that, oh, well, yeah, your new director told us that it was more drivers and less work. I said, how is that when we're covering 2 or 3, 4 routes a day? All of us. We jumping from one bus to the next, covering routes to make sure all these kids get where they need to be. And you know what she told me? Oh, well, we're going to the old bell schedule, and March 1st, we're going to have layoffs. And I had her on speaker, so all the drivers heard it. It wasn't no teacher. She didn't say nothing about teachers. She said transportation. So now we're worried about how we're supposed to feed our family. Do we stay here and work, or do we go forward and find jobs? So I'm coming to you because this is our last resort. We need help. We need you guys to help us because we're being looked over, the whole department. And I talked to Wilfred and Shanti, and they're willing to have a meeting with us. But we're tired of the lies and we're tired of deception. We need help. We work just as hard as anybody else in this district, and we're willing to be here till the end. And we love the children. The children love us. We love all you guys. But stop looking over us. Stop treating us like we're nobodies, because we're not. Thank you.
Carl, can you let us know how that meeting goes?
When is that meeting?
We have it scheduled for next week.
Next week? Okay. VVTA report. Thank you.
You don't need to applaud for me, that's perfectly fine.
You don't need those claps?
No, I don't. All right. Thank you, board. My name is Mike Mayo. I'm Victor Valley Teachers Association president. I'm sorry for whatever happened to your head, Mr. Coles. I couldn't see you before, I just saw it right now.
I forgot to sign the paperwork for the LCAP.
Well, there you go. There are consequences for action. All right. So let me go ahead and start here. I do have a few things I definitely need to discuss. Let's start first with Hispanic Heritage Month. It is Hispanic Heritage Month. I mentioned this last year when this came around, and we still have about 3/4 of our student population who self-identify as Hispanic. And so it's no small thing. That means that we're incorporating their families and everybody into Hispanic Heritage Month. And then we also have LGBTQ+. This is another stand specifically for all students. We're not just here for certain students that we find deserve equal opportunities. We're talking about all students. And so it's important that we keep that in mind. I wanted to also say hello to Chris Stoles. Welcome officially. And you look very dapper in that. I think I said the same thing about Larry Brunson, but he always looks like that. Oh, there he is. Yeah, he still does. If you look at him, he looks great. All right, and then we also have, I did want to mention this, the Georgia shooting that took place very recently, and that's the stuff that doesn't seem like it is going away anytime soon, and so continually being vigilant about things in the district is very important. As an association, we take that very seriously. If anything were to happen, we'll be working hand in hand with CCA, with the district, trying to make sure that everything is okay and everything runs as smoothly as possible, and let's hope that doesn't ever happen here. But we need to be prepared for if it does. I'm sorry for mentioning that, but it's important. Okay. I appreciate the invitation to AASPA. I know it's during October break, but man, if I can spend my October break with anybody, well, I guess it's going to be you guys. Who needs a family, right? Okay.
Family.
So I definitely look forward to working with the district and trying to come up with a presentation. And if we can come with anything like last that we saw in regards to the heritage presentation, it's going to be great. All right, so some things I definitely have to discuss. There is some discourse coming from administration sometimes specific to our non-tenured members. I find it problematic because if I'm a brand new teacher into this district, whether I have years of experience or not, then I'm coming in and I'm trying to make the best of everything. And I know I've had many discussions, especially with Mike Williford, about how important it is that we make it as comfortable as possible to new staff members who are coming here. We want to make it a very welcoming place. But we do have issues sometimes where administration is dangling tenure over their heads. And I think that creates a toxic environment. And so I'll just call it out for what I think it's toxic. I think that there are better ways if you're trying to help a non-tenured member along the way. Let's do it in a way that's going to be beneficial to them, something that you can work on with them, you know, and progress. Because as an administrator, that's part of your job. And so help work them through the process and get through it. And the reason why I bring it up at the board meeting is I've mentioned it before at district level before. And it's just that we see it happening again. Now, I know that site reps have occasionally gone out and tried to mend this. And in some cases, they may be successful. I mention it now just to make sure that you know that I am also aware, that I'm concerned about some of the discourse. Okay, I'm also going to be looking into credit deficiency. I want to thank Dr. Yee for, and also Carol Cronk. I don't know if she's here, but Carol Cronk, she's probably riding a horse or something right now. Okay, sorry. Okay, so Carol Cronk is going to give me some of the data that I'm really looking for, just trying to look at credit deficiency among seniors. What are we going to be able to do to try to actually get them to a place where they can actually graduate? Because I know sometimes that's where, if we're looking at data, that's where we have some of the things that are falling out. And so we as an association are going to try to take it upon ourselves to do some of the research ourselves and see what we can do to help. All right, I also have members who want to make sure that there's transparency in the equity multiplier monies. And now for the biggest thing that we need to discuss, and I brought a secret weapon. I have a teacher from Silverado High School, and she is not the only teacher with issues like this over at Silverado High School specific to facility concerns. And those facility concerns being air conditioning. That's still an issue. And it has been going on for years. It has been. Sometimes it does get fixed. A lot of the pressure ends up falling on administrative assistants, and then work orders put through. It seems like it might be done, and so great, we don't have to grieve it, everything's fine, and then it doesn't work anymore. In this case, it's a bit worse because now in the case of this particular teacher, there's an air conditioning unit that doesn't even exist, and has been having to be placed in a different kind of class. Now with me, as an English teacher, I live a different life in the classroom than this teacher because I don't need the same kinds of resources. You give me those Chromebooks, and man, I can do so much. You move me into another classroom, that's cool enough for the students, and for me, that's great. But this has become a larger issue, and it keeps coming up every single year. So to finish out what I have to say for VVTA, is going to be one of my favorite VVTA members. And she is a fantastic teacher, much better than I am. Shelly Sears, could you please come on up?
Good evening, everyone. This is not my cup of tea, so just to put that out there. I love seeing you guys, and I'm pretty sure the last time I was in this room, I was hanging with Dr. Yee. So this is not something I normally do. I really like to keep to myself and provide my students quality education. So at the beginning of this school year, I was super excited to come back. I traveled Europe this summer, went to art museums. I was more reinvigorated than ever. I was yes! And then I walked in my classroom without any students present on our teacher work days. And my room, as soon as I opened the door, it was hot outside, a wave of heat came out of my room. And I was whoa. So I start fussing with the thermostat, right? I'm I know how to work a thermostat. I can work this out. So I fuss with it, and there's no power to it at all. So I go to check my email, because surely somebody would have communicated this to me, right? No such thing. So I went on a frenzy, initially just trying to email and saying, I don't have air conditioning. Does anybody know what's happening? There's no communication. I also learned that one of my colleagues right next door to me also didn't have air conditioning, so we just sat and dripped with sweat for the 2 days, which is honestly tolerable because my students aren't present, right? So first day of school comes, I got word that potentially there would be air conditionings fixed over the weekend. But I didn't know if that was me because there was no communication of where that was going to be. And it really seemed that no one knew that my classroom didn't have air conditioning at all. First day of school comes, no air conditioning. By second period, I was relocated to a different classroom thanks to my administration. But this classroom is bare bones. I mean, take everything out of this room, put a smartboard in front of it and Chromebooks. I'm a photography teacher, and I failed to introduce myself formally. So I'm gonna do that now. So I teach Photography 1, Photography 2, and AP Studio Art. My AP Studio Art students, because of College Board changes, are encouraged to use multimedia. So they're not only using technology, they're painting, they're doing clay. The College Board really wants the kids to immerse themselves in art. And I'm put in a room with no sink, with no computers, real computers. The Chromebooks, as you know, are wonderful for word processing and lots of other things, not so much for editing a photo. So it really has been a mess, and I feel that I've been very tolerant and positive kind of going through all of this because that's who I am. So I've spent hours reconfiguring my curriculum to try to provide my students with a quality of education. I really hold them to a high standard, and I also hold myself to that high standard. So my students, we are 5 weeks into school now. Academic warnings we just turned in. And my students and I are still in a bare bones classroom with no date of when I will be able to return to my classroom. Beyond that, I learned through someone who was working on the air conditioning units on our campus, passed by one of my colleagues and said, oh, by the way, she doesn't, referring to me, there's not even a unit on the roof. How is it that someone literally got a crane, took a giant unit off of our roof, and I didn't know? I just find this to be, like, honestly horrifying. What it speaks to me is that my students don't matter. I don't matter, right? I have 136 students that are working on equipment that is not appropriate, that are not receiving the education that they deserve. We all say, like, A through G is so important, right? And I agree. But if that's not what's being taught in the classroom, it's just a facade, right? I can't teach my curriculum. And I recently heard that it could be after October break when I would have access to my classroom again to teach. So I went through the first day of school, watched my students melt. My students every day are having trouble with the Chromebooks. We are actually into week 5. I really can't delay editing any longer. There are programs that I use during distance learning, which are terrible. As we all know, distance learning was a bit of a mess, right? The students are on Chromebooks similar to as they were in distance learning, only I'm there and they are too. So I've reached out to say, like, I need a different classroom, but I really feel that my school was set up for failure because nobody had time, because nobody knew. Or if they did, I didn't know. So it feels like systemic failure to me, to our students. On top of that, so I've been out of my classroom for 5 weeks, running back and forth, trying to meet my students' needs, which is a nightmare. And then additionally, last year, we had a similar thing, only this was well communicated. So last year at the beginning of the school year, they said they're doing upgrades to the AC units, you're gonna have to have a relocation. We were notified well in advance by Heather. She let us know it was gonna be uncomfortable, but it would pass, right? And we had a timeline. It went a little over. We were out of our classrooms, folks in my department, were out of our classrooms for 3 weeks, which was doable, right? Because we had communication, Heather talked to us, we planned, all these sort of things. So I was out of my classroom for 3 weeks at the beginning of last school year. My air conditioning unit was supposed to be repaired then, right? That's why I was gone. So beyond that, sorry.
Let me
Yeah.
tell you what, you're gonna have a fix next week.
Okay,
Okay, and then we're gonna look at the whole systemic problem.
okay,
I got it.
okay.
It's not acceptable.
Yeah.
This is absolutely amateur hour.
Yeah, it really,
Okay,
thank you for
there's
saying
not an
that.
excuse.
Yeah.
This is a big league district. This stuff
Yeah.
matters.
Yeah,
I got you.
yeah, thank you. I
Okay.
really appreciate that.
Yeah.
Right.
All right, I got it. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thanks, Mike.
Okay, Mike, is that it?
I'm done.
Oh, you're done. All right. CSCA.
She's in her scrubs. She's in her scrubs. She's a nurse.
Good evening, Board, Superintendent, and Cabinet. I want to start by welcoming everyone back to a new school year. I hope you all have been refreshed for the summer and ready to dive into the new year. I seen all the eyes looking at me when the bus drivers were up there. It wasn't me that they talked to. They went directly to Rancho, so it wasn't me. I did meet with Mr. Coles today. We talked about it. I got a call after they talked to whoever they talked to at Rancho. And I reached out to her. She said that wasn't the message that was conveyed. There's no talks of layoffs on the table. There is talks of a meeting. So I am not sure what the conversation was, but I seen all of you look at me like the leader. It was not the leader. It was not me. I did not have the conversation. I was unaware, and no one reached out to me. So let's just clear that up, because I seen all those eyes go straight to me. Wasn't me. They went straight to Rancho, and sometimes you get misinformation when they're not talking to the people that are on the ground. Like I said, I met with Mr. Coles. When I heard the discussion happen, I was actually already in his office. I reached out to Dawn. When they said that they spoke with Dawn told me that did not happen. She reached back out to try to clear it up. So how we got here, I'm not sure. I know I'm working with the district to kind of get things happen. Something happened when we were at management retreat. We kind of recovered some of it. It's not recovered all the way. I don't think the only way to do it is when the rebid happens to see if we can align a little bit more, and we're talking about it. But I just want you to know it wasn't me. I didn't say anything about layoffs. I know no layoffs are coming, so that did not come from me. I just seen all the eyes dart straight over there. It wasn't me. Anyways, let's move forward. As this year brings a new set of challenges and opportunity for growth, I'm excited to work alongside all of you as we continue to advocate and support the members on behalf of CSEA. I look forward to building on our shared goals, strengthening our collaboration, and continuing the important work we do to serve our state students and staff. Thank you all and have a good night.
Okay. All right. Can I get a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So moved.
Second.
Okay. Any questions? Discussion? All right, vote.
Aye.
Aye. 12.1, new job description. Community Schools Coordinator.
So moved.
Second.
Okay. Discussion? All right, vote.
Aye.
Aye. Action item 13.1. Can I get a motion?
So moved.
Second.
All right, discussion? Did you want to speak on anything?
Yes, so this item is for the replacement. We've identified 2 special education buses that need to be replaced due to age and or mileage.
Okay.
And so that's what this item represents.
All right. Okay, vote.
Aye.
Aye. 13.2, unaudited actuals.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, discussion?
Okay, good evening, board, staff, community members. So tonight I'll be giving a presentation about our 2023-24 unaudited actuals.
You can pass it on.
Okay, next slide. So Ed Code 42100 dictates that we file our unaudited actuals, from the prior year by September 15th of the following year. The unaudited actuals summarize actual amounts of revenues received, expenses spent, and financial records. And so this evening, I'm presenting for the period of July 1st, 2023 through June 30th, 2024. This report will reflect the changes that have occurred since we presented the estimated actuals to the board back in June of 2024. It identifies changes in the projected beginning balances for this current year. It identifies restricted and unrestricted carryover balances from 23-24, and it just provides an updated financial information to the board. We will provide this to the county office and all stakeholders. The unaudited actuals becomes the basis for our auditors' audited financial statements. Next slide. Our reporting period for a school year has several different requirements. It starts with the adopted budget, so that's the initial budget for the fiscal year, and is based on whatever assumptions we have at that time. Then there are interim budgets. So as information about revenues and expenditures change throughout the year, the budget is revised and is represented to the board at our first and second interim periods. Then we have estimated actuals. So during the last quarter of the year, the budgets are adjusted to an estimate of what we think we're going to actually receive and actually expend by June 30, which is the end of our fiscal year. So now we are currently at unaudited actuals for the prior year. So this is the actual amount of revenues expenditures that were spent as of June 30 of 2024. Next slide. So our total combined general fund received revenues of $262.1 million. The bulk of that revenue, 64%, was LCFF revenue, and that came in at $167.3 million. And that was closely followed by federal revenue, mostly made up of one-time funds, one-time emergency funds and grants. Next slide. So we expended in the combined general fund a total of $235.1 million. And as you can see, the bulk of that $235 million is made up of salary and benefits. So a whole 70% of our expenditures for last year in the general fund were from salaries and benefits. Next slide. So this is just a summary of both our unrestricted, restricted, then total general funds. So our unrestricted general fund brought in total revenues of a little bit over $179 million. Our restricted, $82 million, for a total of $262 million. Total expenditures in the unrestricted general fund were $127.7 million. $107.4 million in the restricted, for that total of $235.1 million. So the excess from revenue to expenditure, you see we had a excess in our unrestricted general fund of $52 million, offset by a deficit in our restricted of $25 million, for a total excess of $27 million for the combined fund. The next line there is contributions. So contributions is when we make a transfer from our unrestricted general fund, unrestricted revenue, and we transfer it over to restricted. That transfer is made to cover primarily two major programs. One is our special education program. So we're required to cover about $26 million. It was about $26 million for a prior year. And that is due to the fact that we have a lot of special education needs, special education expenditures, but our funding level is very low, so we're required to make that contribution on an annual basis. In addition to that, we're required to contribute 3% of our total revenue to a program called routine maintenance. So routine maintenance is really a facilities program where we contribute money there to maintain our current facilities. And so that's a EDCO requirement, and we do that on an annual basis. So our beginning fund balance in the unrestricted general fund started out at $48.2 million. For restricted, it started out at $37.5 million for a total of $85.7 million. And we ended the year with a total ending balance of $112.7 million. Next slide. So, well, you guys can barely see that, but these next couple slides I'll just kind of go through kind of quickly. It just kind of breaks down some detail of that overall picture. So for the combined general fund, our revenue sources were our LCFF revenue, federal revenues, other state and local revenues, again for that total of $262.1 million. Expenditures are made up of salaries, so we have certificated salaries, classified salaries, benefits, and then other operational expenses and supplies for a total of $235.1 million. Again, bringing us to an ending combined balance of $112.7 million. Next slide. So for the unrestricted, I won't go through every line to point that out to you again, but I just want to make a comment that the total combined revenue in our unrestricted general fund equated to about 56% of our overall general fund revenue, and then the total expenses in unrestricted were about 54%. Ending fund balance for the unrestricted general fund, $67.4 million, and that's a very important number to us. So what this represents is that we came in right at our estimated actuals, which we presented in June. And so that's about a reserve percentage of 25.7%. So that leaves us in a pretty good place. And so what that translates to over our multi-year projection in the next 3 years is that we are still projecting in the 26-27 year to end right around 7 to 8%, as we presented back in June. Next slide. What I want to point out regarding the restricted general fund is that the bulk of these restricted revenues are expiring. So especially if we look at the nearly $52 million in federal revenues that we received, most of those monies were received during the COVID-19 pandemic. And so they were one-time relief monies that came in. And again, the bulk of these are expiring in this current year. In fact, we have a very large deadline coming up just in a couple weeks, September 30th, where we'll see the expiration of our ESSER $3. So we started out with like $43 million in those funds about 3 years ago, and so now we're seeing those expire. As we see these revenues expire, we'll also see the expenses in this restricted general fund decrease, and it'll shift over to our unrestricted general fund. And this is what we have planned, and this is what we have presented over our multi-year projection over the last couple years. Next slide. I also want to discuss other funds that the district has available. So we had a total of other funds, and these funds are made up of, we have ASB activities, adult education, nutrition services, we have funds for deferred revenue, we have special reserves, so we have special reserves for textbooks. We also have what we call an OPEB trust. But the total beginning this year, we started this year with $38 million of these other funds. And over the course of last year, we gained nearly $8 million in this fund when you look at what the offset of revenue to expenses were, ending the year at nearly $47 million. So these are primarily restricted funds. They're used for specific purposes, but it's important for us all to know, exactly what resources that we have available as a district. Next slide. So the next steps in this process is for the board to accept the 23-24 unaudited actuals. Upon that acceptance, it will be submitted to our County Office of Education and then to the California Department of Education. The next report will be coming to you guys regarding budget by December 15th. At that time, we will be presenting the 24-25 first interim report. So at that time, we'll see whatever changes may need to be implemented in the budget due to changes in revenue, changes in expenses, or changes in assumptions. Next slide. Are there any questions?
How close were you with your P1 to your unaudited actuals?
Well, I can tell you from estimated actuals in June to unaudited actuals, we actually were only off about 300,000, which is pretty remarkable.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah, well,
no, I mean, individually that would be horrible, 300,000. But for a district of, you're talking about $250 million plus to be off by that. That is just amazing.
Well, I must say that we worked really hard throughout the year, and we'll continue that work obviously this year. But I think we've really kind of refined the way that we're updating these estimates. We're working really hard with our associations and our other partners to really just identify what our true expenses are. I think we really dialed it in pretty good working with HR last year. We really dialed in the biggest part of our budget, which is our position control. We made really leaps and bounds in that area, and so we will just continue to do that type of work, and it'll be of even more importance as we see these one-time dollars expiring. It'll be of even more importance for us to be transparent and to be as thorough as possible so that we can continue to come in as close as possible.
Well, thank you very much. That's 44 years, and I've never heard that before, so thank you.
Any other questions?
Okay, any other questions? All right, vote.
Aye.
All right, thank you. Another action item, 14.1, contract.
So moved.
Second.
All right, discussion. Ramoni?
Yes, 2 years ago, we piloted the Heritage Program at Adelanto High School and had an opportunity to send 45 of our students along with 5 chaperones to our historically black college and university tour. And now with the expansion of Heritage to all 3 comprehensive high schools, we have an opportunity to, again, send 45 students and 5 chaperones for each of our school sites. The itineraries included in this contract is personalized by each school site. It includes a trip either to Alabama, Louisiana, Florida, or Texas, and Texas. And some colleges that our students will be attending will include Xavier, Dillard, LSU, Tuskegee, and Bethune-Cookman. And we thank the board for your consideration and approval for this board item for a total cost of about $305,000.
Okay,
Money well spent, so.
all right, vote?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, 15.1.
So moved.
Second? Second?
Waiting for Hubert.
He can't do personnel.
You
Oh,
can't
is this
do
personnel?
personnel.
I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
this is personnel.
Second, I'll second.
Okay. Discussion? Anything, Mike?
No, I gave you some notes on some of the things I might have questions on, but other than that, I'm willing to answer any other questions you might have.
Okay. Vote?
Aye.
Aye. 15.2?
So moved.
Second.
All right. Mike, anything?
Yeah, again, I gave you guys some notes, but if there's any additional things that have
Any
come up, let me
questions?
know.
All right. Vote?
Aye.
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 Okay, legal pupil issues? 16.1?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Okay. Any discussion on that? No? All right, vote?
Aye.
And information discussion items. Conference requests. 17.2, education study trip. 17.3, Williams settlement. Okay. 18, staff reports. Business services.
Okay, so I'll make this quick. So, as you know, the bulk of the summer, we've been working on what I just presented on. Beginning next week, we will start having budget meetings with all sites and departments. So this will be to go over their individual departmental or site budgets, as well as to improve our projections for the current year. Next month, we look forward to welcoming our external auditors, Nigro and Nigro, back to the district office. They'll be back for their second and final visit for the 23-24 year as they prepare our audited financial statements. On a lighter note, our risk management department kicked off the first wellness challenge of the year back on September 1st. The name of the challenge is Stepping Back into School, and the goal is for each participant to take 300,000 steps in the month of September. If you would like to join that challenge, please check out an email that came out from our risk manager, Deshaun Dickinson, and there's instructions on how to join that challenge. Thank you.
Okay. Education services.
All right, I too will keep my comments brief. I want to thank everyone for just a great start of the school year. Such great emphasis on student learning in the classroom and identifying students who need extra support and having a plan to actually address it. Been working with principals on their site goals and really focusing on A through G, essential standards, and data. So that has been going really well. And had opportunity to attend back to school nights and legacy and heritage parent kickoffs, so that's been really fun. And I want to also welcome our student board member, Hubert. Thank you so much for your commitment to our community and our district, and we look forward to working with you closely.
Thank you, Ms. Eve.
Okay, human resources.
I just hope that everyone had a great first month back. I would like to thank VVTA and CSCA for their continued support and collaboration and problem solving. It's much appreciated. And I hope that everyone has a great Friday and enjoys their weekend. So thank you very much.
Okay. In legislation, as you know, the session for 2023-24 ended on August 31st. So they are adjourned right now. The official time that they do adjourn is usually November 30th. And now all of the things that made it the bills that made it, the governor either has to sign them and they become law, and then, or there will be a veto of that bill. So right now, there's decisions he's making on that, whether to sign or to veto bills. A couple of bills that CSBA, which is California School Board Association, is sponsoring is to have dual enrollment for other colleges other than just like our own, like Victor Valley. We can use neighboring type. That's one of the bills that we're sponsoring. And the other one was dealt with reporting on all of the things that you have to do. There's a bill now that they want to push through. We want to push through to see how many things we sign, how many reports we have to do. There's a bill on that now to study that, to make sure that we understand what we're doing. And then there's some other bills that are very controversial, which they want to take some of the rights away from board members, but we're trying to fight that and make sure that doesn't happen for us. Okay. All right. Mr. Crosby, you're first today,
All
instead
right.
of our guy.
Because Mr. Barrios is in the middle
Yeah,
of the sea on a Japanese
yeah,
cruise.
he's
Hey.
probably doing everything,
Yeah, so I'll be first today.
having a great time of it.
First of all, I'd like to thank all the staff and the students, the marvelous start that we had for the school year. I've been able to visit all the schools and make the visits and then go back to school nights and stuff. And I've enjoyed the various heritage and legacy. I've been able to go to, I didn't go to all the Adelanto High School because I think you guys had like 5. Okay, but I went to 2. But I went to the other heritage and legacy starts at the other schools, but not all of them at Adelanto. Our leaders and students are just doing an outstanding job, and I want to just tell them how much I appreciate it. To our friends and neighbors at the Adelanto City Council, a few of us were able to go there and listen to Mr. Coles give a plug for our district, and we want to thank them for their support to our school district as our plans are moving forward. We're also thrilled to be able to go to the ribbon cutting ceremony at the Family Engagement Center for Larea. They had a wonderful time there, and for the first time in my life, I actually got to cut the ribbon. Because they said, well, we got to get somebody from the district, and they said, well, you're from the district, and I said, you better not give me scissors, I'm dangerous, and things like that. They gave them to me anyhow, so that was a thrill for me. So I got to do that, but they wonderful job. They had great food and just, it was packed, so it was wonderful. And then we also got to go to the Larea fundraiser for a steak and dinner and stuff. That was good on another night, so I always enjoy that. Hubert, I'd like to welcome you officially on the school board, and we're excited about your participation and what you're going to do. We look forward to your insights, okay? You have a different insight. I worked in the district, not counting school board, but I worked here 41 years. But my insights will be different from yours. And you have a much more relevant insight in a lot of ways because you're going through it, you're living through it. So please don't hesitate to speak up.
Yes, sir, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Chief Stoll, Chief Stoll's wife, okay? We'd like to welcome you and your family.
Yeah, what happened to him?
Okay.
Oh.
Well, we look forward to his assistance as we move forward. We have a lot to do, but we've come a long way, and we need to go. And I know that with him in there, we'll continue to do a lot more, and I'm excited for that. When I was over at Larea this week, Lakeview Leadership Academy, I apologize. I'd like to thank Tamika Ponce. She's the president of the Parent Teacher Association, and she sat there and asked me if I had $10, and I thought she wanted to borrow $10. So I said, yeah. So I took out my wallet, and she goes, I'm signing you up. You're now a parent supporter on the PTA. So I want to, at 72 years old, I am now on the PTA. I have no kids in school, but hey, I belong to the PTA now, so look, I'm a card-carrying PTA member. And Mike, be sure to tell Kelly, I think she left, Shelley, I'm sorry, Shelley, my fault. But be sure to tell her, I'm going to disagree with something you said. You said as an English teacher, you can move and stuff like that. As one of my ex-students, if you were in my classroom and it was 88, 90 degrees, well, I would have told them that, but would that have been a pleasant experience? No. Okay, good. That's not, and I'm so grateful to Mr. Coles that you said we'll take care of it. No teacher should, one, be moved out of their classroom for long periods of time, and two, no teacher should have to be in a sweat box. And so thank you very much for taking care of that. And so that's me.
Okay. All right. Ms. Evanson, I'm sorry.
That's okay. I just want to welcome everyone who's still here and our newest, our first police chief. Please give him our regards. And Hubert, welcome to our family. We're glad you're here. And thank everyone who's still here in our audience. And teachers, I know you're working really hard in the 5th week, and our students are working hard as well. And CSEA, thank you for all your support of our students. And for the bus drivers, thank you for bringing them safely, taking them home safely. We care about you, and we want to resolve these issues. So thank you very much.
Okay. Mr. Hinojosa.
Yeah, first, I want to thank everybody for being here tonight and sticking around till the end. We appreciate it. Appreciate you being here. I also want to thank those folks watching on YouTube. I know there's usually quite a few on there, and we're just glad that you're watching the proceedings. I want to congratulate Hubert, and I look forward to your active participation on our board. Don't be afraid to jump in, and look forward to your insight, especially, as Kent said, you're right out there amongst them, so you know what's going on. And we don't have that opportunity day in and day out. So welcome, and like I say, jump right in, okay?
Yes, sir, thank you.
Thanks for having you. I want to thank our ASB students from our schools for their presentations. They always do such a great job, and it's always great to hear what's going on in the schools, and especially when they come bearing great gifts, especially from Victor Valley High School. I'm sorry, Heather. No, thank you. You can't have enough Jackrabbit stuff. And as I say,
just for that, I'm going to put this on.
There you go. Oh, you're putting on your.
No, I was Jackrabbit 36 years, but
you're cutting into my 3 minutes, pal.
I'm sorry.
Putting on his hawk.
Sorry, Kelly, CTE.
All right. Sure.
Okay, you done?
Yes, he's done.
I want to congratulate all of our SkillsUSA National Competition Award winners. I think it was Matthew and Jeremy. Glad to see that all of their hard work paid off, and congratulations to them. I was out at Silverado when they were installing those air conditioners, and I know they put those air conditioners up on the roof because the cherry picker was there, and I saw a couple of them up there. So why they're not working, I'm sure Superintendent Coles will take care of that. Like Carl said, it's not right for our teachers to have to work in the environments like that. I'm sure that we wouldn't like it, and it's not fair to them.
Today was really hot.
Yeah,
It was really hot.
I want to congratulate Carl and his staff for a district kickoff the first part of August. It was a huge success, and it was well attended by all our personnel, and this was sure a good way to get our year started. I want to thank Michael for allowing me to spend some time with him last month. I enjoyed the shadowing him for the day. I got to get filled in on his responsibilities, and then I also got to meet his personnel that make up the Human Resources Division, and I appreciate them taking the time to fill me in on their specific responsibilities. And then we were also able to visit some school sites. It's always nice to go out on the school sites and get to meet the teachers, not only the old ones, but as well as the new ones. I want to congratulate all of our principals and their staff for a successful first day of school on August 5th. I was able to visit several school sites with Carl and Chris and Kent and myself. We had the opportunity to welcome back returning teachers and students, and as well as welcome our new teachers. I got to meet a young lady from Barstow. She had been there 8 years almost, and she decided to come over to our district. I also met a young man from Hesperia, and they were all excited to get started with our district, and they were genuinely just really excited to be there. They were very proud to be part of our district, and I wish them well, and I know that they're going to do a great job for us. Congratulations to all our principals, too, and their staff involved with back-to-school nights, as well as Heritage and the Legacy program presentations. I was able to attend several, including Silverado, Adelanto, Hook, and Victor Valley, and they were all very well attended, not only by students, but by their parents as well. It's great to see all those parents there, because, they make up a big part of the village to raise those students and do the best for them. So it's nice to see all those parents there. I think that's it. Thank you again for attending, and I hope we have a great year.
Okay. I'd just like to welcome our new student, and this is going to be a great year for us. And I also want to welcome our chief, brand new. I know he's not there, but he was there. And I want to thank all the students that came tonight, and I'm very proud of the skills group that achieved what they did, especially. And then I want to thank the transportation for showing up. Now there's nobody here. My God, I didn't realize there was so many transportation people here. Yeah. But thank you for coming in and sharing some of your opinions of what's going on in our district. The other thing is that everybody came tonight. I think almost every district showed up for students. It seems like I think it was all of them.
All the schools.
It was all of them, wasn't it?
There's 9.
And that was really good to see all the students that showed up. I did go to several things, but there were some hiccups. I think that next year we need to make it a little bit clearer how we schedule all the events. Because in some of the areas it was like 3 in one night, 2 in one night, and it was very difficult for board members to get from one place and go across town and something like that. But we already talked about maybe next year having an events calendar that shows everything and then separate it a little bit so everybody can go to the things that they want to go to. All right. Well, welcome back, everybody.
Barbara?
Huh? No. Oh. Quiet.
See?
See how he is? Are you taking his place? Yeah, you are. And now, our very beautiful student board member.
Oh, I get to say
What were
something?
you
You bet.
I'd like to thank everyone, board members, for welcoming me here. It was the first nervous day on the job for sure. Thank you, Miss Heather, for answering my emails at a little late at night. We won't say the time, but I thank you, Miss Heather. Thank you, Dad, for staying in the back right there.
Oh.
Appreciate you.
Stand up, Dad. Stand up. Is that your father? Stand up, Dad. Stand up. Oh, yeah.
Mom was
My
here a little
goodness.
earlier, but she did have to leave to cook a little bit, so she's doing
Oh,
that.
is that what it was?
But I do want to give one more.
Well,
final,
welcome, Dad.
I do want to give one more final thanks to Miss Miles for giving me this opportunity to actually be here with all of you. As you guys know, I used to present all the time, and so I'm in
And
the
I-
big league now.
And I used to tell you, Sheshini. Do you remember?
Of course I remember.
You remember that. Anyway,
Thank you.
Yeah. All right. What is our next one? Oh, superintendent.
Yeah, I'll just keep this short. I think it was really a great start of the school year. Really a huge focus on the teaching and learning process right out of the gate. And in many of our schools on day one, it wasn't within just minutes that the campuses were cleared, and we were right back at it. As a Jackrabbit staff member, now that we're on their teaching staff, it's been a great opportunity for us to really get into the classroom and understand a little bit more. It's been a long time since I've been out of the classroom. And it gives an opportunity to glimpse what our staff go through. And hearing some of the things, today, I'm not working in 90-degree weather inside of a heat box. So these things need to get resolved. And I look back at what's the formula that makes the school year really kick off strong and then continue that sustainability. And I think it's our ability to solve problems. We're never going to be perfect. As a district, it's never going to be a goal. But what we're going to be really good at is taking these concerns and doing something with them. So, tonight we definitely have some things to address, and we'll get it taken care of. So, thank you.
All right. Let's see here. We have another session we gotta do, don't we?
Yeah, so we can close out this
Well,
meeting.
we're gonna
and then-
close this out. Okay, can I get
So moved.
second?
Second.
Vote?
Aye.
Aye. So the meeting is adjourned, and now we're gonna open our corporate meeting.
So Brett's the only one that has to stay?
Yeah, you can't leave, Brett.
No.
Look at Brett. It's okay, Brett.
But you can also.
Don't pay any attention to him.
This is just going over the finance.
Well, how you doing, guy? You doing okay?
See you next month.
Yeah, I read this other stuff about you.
I
What
told
is that?
No,
Mix-up.
I'm sure you just come. But I'm sure if you want to stay, you can. But we also know you gotta go study.
It's okay. Everything good?
Have a great day.
There was an email.
See you, Brian.
Hey. Yeah, we do. Not a meeting. It's
good.
Corporate meeting.
All right, we're good. We check in with Chris on the subject.
Try to keep up.
So just check in.
It was a failure.
Have a nice
Right.
day.
Hey, see you later, Brian.
You got a wrangle.
I'll email you some. I sure will. I sure will. Thank you, you too. I know. Not a weekend yet.
No. Sashimi.
Hey, how are you?
I'll see you.
Good. All
See you
right.
next month.
Not close enough to the weekend.
Come on, can we do this?
Okay, everybody. Hello? Hello, we have another meeting we have to do. Excuse me.
Well, we need
No.
and listen.
Huh? Yeah.
We accept. It was No, we're not.
Hello?
We have a meeting.
Hello back there?
Come on, kid.
Kent! Come on.
I'm totally on board with that.
Excuse me.
But we also still want a copy of the restorative circle, because I have things I want to discuss with you about that. Okay. Yeah. Okay. We'll do that. Okay, after Tuesday, but when she's done, I'll let her go.
Oh, sorry.
Okay. Barbara, let's get started. Oh, wait, I'm not the last one. Penny's not here.
Where's Penny?
I think she's.
Went to the little girls' room.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
There she is.
There she is. Here she is. Okay. All right, we're going to call this meeting to order. I don't think we have to do the pledge again, do we?
We're good.
All right. We need to appoint officers. Can I get a motion to appoint officers for the following positions? Chief Executive Officer, and I was that last year. Chief Financial Officer, and Kent was that last year. Secretary is Carl. All right.
I move that we appoint Jose for both of those positions.
Since he's not here.
No, you can only do one. Only one position. So we can put him at the beginning. All right, let's appoint him for the first one. Jose Barrios. All right. Now, Chief Financial
You just have to vote
Officer.
on it. So just Chief
Yes.
Executive
Oh,
Officer.
oh, all at one time,
All
I
at one
thought.
vote?
I
Okay,
think
perfect.
you vote on them all at one time.
Perfect.
All right. And I recommend, what's his name?
Oh, what's his face?
Good old, what's his name?
Rosie.
I know him well.
Rosie.
Give this to Heather.
Rosie. Okay.
Rosie, would you like that position?
Sure, you bet.
Rosie, I know you.
I saw how
would like
much,
it. I know
I saw how
you would
much
like it
work they
already.
did last year.
All right, and then the secretary, Carl, you still want that position?
He's got no choice.
All right.
See how much work that was
All
last year,
right,
too?
so we have, the chief executive officer is Jose Barrios, and the chief financial officer is Rosie Hinojosa. Okay. And then the secretary is Carl Cole. Okay, to vote?
Aye.
Aye. All right, that's our officers. Information program status report. Shantae, you want to talk about it, or?
No, I mean,
Okay.
basically.
All right, and public comments, anybody?
None.
No? Comments by the board? Penny?
None?
Rosie?
I'd just like to congratulate.
Myself.
I'd like to thank our outgoing officers and thank them for the great job they did last year. It was much appreciated, and it was really nice not to hear anything from either one of you.
Rosie, do you just want to hear yourself talk?
I want you to notice this is the first time we've been within $300,000 from the start to the end, so I want to end.
That's great.
Well, that was from June to August.
And then, let's see, what else do we have here?
Motion to adjourn?
Anybody?
Second.
Hold on.
Okay. And then, next regular meeting schedule is next year?
Oh, my God, I
Yes.
can hardly wait.
No, when is it? Next year. All right, move
well,
to adjourn.
Before we
Move.
adjourn.
Second. Second. All right,
I
vote.
think
Aye.
the executive officer should take us all out to dinner this next year.
Yeah, just like the last executive officers did.
We get to go home.
Thank you.